Belshire Vestige.
Welcome to Belshire Vestige. In the top left corner of the map, we have the recent IEM Shanghai champion, recently experiencing his own moniker. It is Evil Genius's Revival. Clap, 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 clap. And in the bottom right, we have from Team Acer, one of the most popular and prominent non-Korean players in StarCraft 2. We have Scarlett, also known as Sasha Houston. Oh man, I really messed it up, didn't I?
It's okay, Dan.
As the president of the Scarlett fan club, Greetor, what is the correct pronunciation of her, last name?
I hype Scarlett. I've been hyping Scarlett since Wings of Liberty. You guys give me a tough time. But Ben and Kevin hype people, and you're like, yeah.
I give them a hard time too.
Do you?
I do.
Did you give them
about Hitman? Are you kidding me?
Well, Hitman was just like a troll.
Ben was dead serious about that.
No, he was not. No person in their right mind.
When Ben was making his when Mr. Bitter was making his fantasy pro league team, he put Hitman as the captain, and he earned him a whopping 1 point.
That's because though that has something out. That's because of his just sheer stubbornness. Like, you would call him out on that, like, oh, that's just a troll pick. What are you doing? And he's like, no, he's the best pick. He's the best player. I'm going to show you right now by picking him.
No, but when they're talking about players, and we're going to bring this back to players like Jim, who's going to be playing tomorrow, I really do feel like some of these players have flown more under the radar than they should have been, and Revival is one of those players. Now, Scarlett, she has received a lot of attention, and we can be really honest, both positive and negative. I really feel like she's held up pretty well, regardless of all of the doubt, because she's had to battle injury, she's had to battle a lot of adjusting to travel. She used to not travel very well, and to see that she seems to be in pretty decent condition here in California, she's saying it's good, and I expect good play from Scarlett as a result.
I do too. I expect nothing less, Frodan. I think she's going to sweep the group 4-0.
All right, so let's talk a little bit about what we know each other's play styles before you start pandering more about what Scarlett can do.
Well, right now,
what do you know about Revival? What do you know about Scarlett and their play styles, and what do you see developing here?
See, here's the thing. I feel like Revival, actually both these players have very conventional play to start things out in or actually mid-game, end-game. They have very conventional play, just roaches mainly. How they start is definitely very different. Revival, I would say, has a much wider range of opening build orders, and that's why I think Scarlett was just so aggressive with this first Overlord, going all the way into the main base, just checking exactly how many gases there are. You can see no gases are up because Revival is capable of that. Belshire Vestige, if you look at the natural, it's very wide and open, so a lot of all-ins can happen, but Revival rolling the dice a little bit. What do you know about Scarlett, though?
Well, when we saw Scarlett play against Vibe, we saw that Swarm Host clip, but that was kind of an I already have one, so I'm just gonna kind of dick around move from Scarlett, because she even typed in the chat, in the Skype chat, I'm just gonna make Swarm Host until Vibe leaves. It was just kind of like a playful thing because the game was already over. So don't necessarily take it like, wow, Scarlett goes only Swarm Host, I should do that. She's more of a player that likes to have a roach-based army, likes to do a lot of mobility. When she was playing Vibe also, she skipped Metabolic Boost sometimes to get a quick Roach Warren and Lair in combination, and then try to defend against any early speeding. But she's already mixing it up. Scarlett's always been one of those players who's had her own styles and how she kind of chooses to play, just like you were mentioning. And that's what I've always been so curious, because in the end, I really don't know what to expect from her.
Yeah, and it is funny because you mentioned the Swarmhost thing. She's a very trolly player too. Like her personality is very trolly. If you actually,
it feels like a young TLO sometimes. It's very playful with how they think about strategies and tactics.
Yeah, but overall, I feel like she is a more so conventional style. Yes, she has some tricky stuff, but I think it's a lot of reactive tricky stuff. That sounds weird, but it's like she sees what you're capable of, she sees what you're probably going to do, and bases a lot of her decisions off of that. And I really like that type of style because, you know, it's not so predictable. It's not like you're always doing the same thing every time, which is something that we just saw Minigun do yesterday.
Speaking
or Sage
of being
today.
predictable or unpredictable, Scarlett is going to go completely different from her previous WCS series and just try to go for a Spire really quick.
Yep.
Now, we have seen quick Spires in the past, but this is generally a pretty normal time. Well, I mean, I've seen Sen do a 430 layer,
Yeah.
and then a 6-minute Spire, which is just like, Sen, what are you doing? Stop. Come on. And he gets away with it. Scarlett's going for a third and trying to control the map and maybe use a Mutalisk to be able to destroy. Meanwhile, Revival's going to do the very logical transition, which is double Evil upgrades and try to get a good Roach count.
And
when he sees the Mutalisk, he will have to transition to Hydra.
I should say the more predictable transition, right? Because when you see no gas in the very beginning, you're not thinking any Zergling Baneling all-ins, but how are you going to take a lot of space? There's always going to be a metabolic boost and potential Baneling advantages for Scarlett. Nice little cancel there on the third base. But Scarlett kind of reads, you can only really go Roaches. They're going to be slightly delayed. I know on Belshir Vestige you have to make a wall like this, so you're probably going to go upgrades. Let me get ready. Just tech straight to Mutas and gain complete map control, and I will have an economic advantage on you.
Now, Revival will have to... Well, he will have to try to make a conscious effort to defend. He did scout the Spire with his Overseer, but still not going to be able to get the third up in time. Will force another cancel. Scarlett playing excellently. This is exactly what you want. 2 cancels already, while the Mutas are on the map shutting down Vision and trying to see if they can hunt down Overlords. So overall, Scarlett does have that temporary map control, but when Revival hits a certain critical max, it's how Scarlett transitions from here, because she's starting her Roach form, but she's going to be very far behind in terms of the strength of her army.
It will be and it won't be, right? Like, the Mutas still add a lot of good DPS, and she's obviously incurring a lot of indirect damage with all these Spore Crawlers coming up here, the delayed third base, which is, I guess, direct damage. But all of this stuff, like making additional Overlords, spending a lot of Larva that's not Roaches, she can catch up pretty fast. And with this third base up for so long, she'll be able to get the economy to materialize those units super, super fast. That's going to give her the nice little advantage if the game goes on longer. That's the key thing, Frodan. The one thing Scarlett is looking out for is timings. Do you have the capabilities of attacking me, and how soon is it going to be?
That's a really good point, Andre, and I kind of... I completely neglected how long Scarlett's third has been up, just because I've been focusing on the top half of the map so much, and you're right. She's already got almost full saturation. I didn't even know it was that quick. And as a result, Scarlett is going to have a very nice opportunity to get up a huge raw number. But, I mean, Revival still does manage to get this third up, and he is going to start saturating his drone count.
Oh, look at this. Ooh. She's just finding little openings, taking out a Hydra, taking out 2 Hydras.
That's very nice.
That's a lot of money.
That is a lot of money, and for free, because Mutas regenerate so fast.
Oh, yeah. It's beautiful. Now, because Revival went so many drones, look at how fast he's able to increase his economy, just fully saturating this base over here. He's up to 59 drones. Notice how 60 drones hasn't changed for Scarlett this whole time. Why is that? Because look at the units tab right now. There's a lot of Roaches moving on over. 35 Roaches against 14. And don't forget those 9 Mutalisks. This is so scary if you are Revival. Now
his army split up.
And this is looking good, Frodan.
That's right. Revival's caught out of position. Some of his units are out of, or not at the natural. They're caught at the third. So Scarlett's going to take this opportunity to fight on 2 fronts and use the Mutalisk as support to try to add in some DPS and snipe while trying to control. More Roaches are on the way, and +1's about to finish. Can try to equalize the playing field in that regard, while Revival is trying to funnel all the Roaches into the natural using the Evil Chambers. The third is under heavy siege.
Oh, yes, it is. Too many Roaches swarming this area. The third will be forfeit. The natural, oh my god, using the SimCity as a bottleneck. Really nicely done by Scarlett. She's playing this perfectly, and she will be able to grab game number 1.
Wow, Scarlett, even though she looks statistically weak against Zerg, having lost a couple of her past series, is looking mightily impressive as Revival, the I Am Shanghai champion. Looks like he might drop game number 1. Scarlett is pressing in, trying to end the game right now. GG, Scarlett takes game